Welcome to the Feel Better podcast. I'm Charlotte, and I help high-functioning women who look capable on the outside but feel overwhelmed beneath the surface. You're holding it all together, raising kids, navigating relationship pressures, building a career, and wondering why things feel heavier than they should. You're not failing, but it is time to carry things differently. Here you'll get clear insights, practical tools and strategies, and conversations that move the things that are keeping you stuck. This is where women come to feel better. Thanks for joining me. And so I came across you online, and then I've had to work really hard to convince you that I wasn't a really weird stalker.
I love our origin story. It's so good.
I did write a draft question. I deleted it. But one of my questions was going to be, at what point did you realise I wasn't a weird stalker?
No, I never thought that. But I do love our origin story. It's
yes.
so good.
So I found you. We were we happened to be looking for a house, and then I joined some dots and went, you live in that little rural community.
Yes, our little enclave. Yeah.
And then you asked people to come to your house to do some flowers for a fundraiser.
Yes.
And I turned up, and I'm sure you were like, single white female at that particular point in time. But
No.
so cool to get to know you over this time. And I think that one of the things I really admire about you is you've found hobbies. You've found things that bring you joy.
Yeah.
And I see so many women who struggle with that, which is part of, a big focus of our conversation today is going to be around that. But that you give yourself permission to do those things, and you're adventurous, and you're invested in your kids, but you have your own interests. And then you are someone who is really deeply reflective about the world around you, and yet you're the frigging queen of PTA life.
I know.
And you show up to do stuff to make the little part of the world around you a better place for your kids and for their friends. And that sense of being able to be an engaged global citizen. Yeah. And then also balancing that with showing up for your people and making the difference you can. And then also not getting so down on that you can't just then immerse yourself in dahlias.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, totally.
What a great life you've built.
Oh, thanks. It's so lovely to hear that.
Yay.
Reflected back like that.
Yes. I think you're doing great things,
thank you.
Looking forward to having a conversation today.
Yeah, me too.
You have been a Les Mills instructor for years. If you were a Les Mills class, which one would you be?
Oh my gosh. I would have used to have said body attack. Probably still would actually. I don't teach it anymore. So I think I just go with body attack.
What's body attack for
those?
those?
It's high impact, high intensity. Think 80s aerobics, but with a modern twist.
Oh,
Yeah, it's super fun. But it's kind of, now it's been sort of taken over by all that modern, grit style workouts or, HIIT workouts.
Yeah.
Whereas body attack used to have, the high kicks and the woohoo. And I loved it.
I like the high intensity, high impact as a tagline for you.
Yeah, that's actually literally probably how people would describe me, I'd say.
So good. Okay, your current top 3 favourite flowers?
Ooh, I previously, before my disaster paddock, side note, would have said dahlias. They're still probably my top flower, actually. Zinnias, cosmos, all 3 of the most easiest flowers to grow.
Oh. Too good. And I was telling you the story the other day about how my husband was influenced by you and came home with this singular dahlia.
He was so proud too. He sent me a photo and everything.
Good. And it was red, and I just can't do red anyway.
I know, I've got more red flowers for him too.
Great.
You're welcome.
Okay, so my nosy question is, what's your top family dinner right now?
Oh, we've actually been on a food bag tangent lately because I got to that place where I was absolutely sick of cooking the same 4 meals on rotation. And so I went to my food bag purely to get some inspiration for different meals. And it turns out my kids really actually quite like lots of different ethnic foods. In particular, they're really enjoying Japanese at the moment. So
nice.
just a poke bowl or like a teriyaki chicken on rice, they dig it.
Yeah.
So,
I think that's one of the questions I'm often I most want to ask other mums is what the fuck's for dinner tonight? I know. Somebody tell me.
That's why I love my food bag, but it is it's a a bit of a cost
Yeah.
when you extrapolate it out. So I just do it, and I'm going to do it in little chunks now.
Yeah.
When I get bored again, I'm going to go back and just get my mojo
Yay.
back, and
So good.
it's great.
Yay.
Recommend.
And I think that strategy of like chopping and changing with the things that work for you, like not being all or nothing, about doing a little bit when you need it.
100%. Well, when you've got like your school activities through the term, and if there's something every night that week, you literally have to be very organised. Not my forte. So I found that we would just be eating the same stuff. So my food bag is great because it gives all that kind of, there's variety.
Yeah.
My kids didn't love it in the beginning, but now they're actually quite into it.
Oh, yay. What is the best thing about motherhood right now and the worst thing about motherhood right now?
The best thing, my kids are at an amazing age. Like, they're their own little people now. So the best thing is actually hanging out with them as like little humans. Like, I am really loving that. The worst part is probably the same thing. Like, they're growing, and it's like, I want to freeze this time. Like, the next sort of 3 to 4 years, I think, are going to be like so special and precious. And I'm like, I want to freeze it and like hold on to that, because then, then we're going to be into like the teenage stage.
Yeah.
Which terrifies me. Yeah. And then we'll be into, we won't have kids at home. So,
Well, you've got one about to start school. I was recounting to my youngest recently that I felt really sad when she was starting school. And I said to her, I'm not ready for you to start school. And she said, but I'm ready, Mum.
I know.
Oh,
yes.
It's like, it's the cutest. They're so ready for their next steps when they come.
It's so interesting because you look at them when they're like 4 and you think, oh my gosh, you're so not ready. Yeah. Then they hit 4.5 and you're like, oh wow, you're such a different person now, and you're so ready to go and do this next step. Yeah. My son's been at home since the start of the Christmas holidays because he finished his preschool, and then our preschool shuts down over the Christmas break, and we sort of thought, well, let's just keep him home for the month until he turns 5 once school goes back. And he's so ready. It's been a long summer for him. Like, he's missing his friends, and I think he's had a blast too, but he's totally ready to hit school.
New life stage incoming.
I know.
And if you had a plane ticket to one place, where would you go?
Oh my gosh, I'd probably go back to Europe somewhere. I really loved spending time there. So I probably would go Ireland and visit like my family history, and Ireland, Scotland.
So good. Yeah. Was the Instagram journey accidental?
Totally. It was a motherhood thing. I went through quite a tumultuous beginning after my first baby, or even leading into that, the conception and everything. And one day I just started writing and sharing on Instagram because I felt like surely there's other people out there who are struggling like me, and within my immediate group of friends, no one was kind of grappling with some of the things that I was. And I really wanted to feel validated, seen and understood by people who got it. Yeah. And so I just started putting it out there. And so initially my Instagram account was very much my motherhood musings, if you will. And then I probably pivoted if you call it that, a couple of years ago into sort of more gardening focused content, because naturally, through the motherhood journey, you stop kind of focusing on all those little things that might be, sleep schedules and how many times your baby's pooed that day, and and then you start kind of really remembering who you want to be and who you were, and gardening sort of became my thing.
So cool.
Yeah.
I want to talk to you about the motherhood journey because I really respect that you will talk about the things that have been hard about that. And I think one of the first posts that I saw of yours was about body changes after motherhood and what impact that had on exercising, and then what flow-on impact that had on mental health. And I love those honest conversations about what it is that we're going through and just bringing a whole lot of that stuff into normal conversation. So the motherhood journey was pretty rocky.
Yeah. We struggled with conception initially, and that was down to the fact that I had undiagnosed endometriosis, which was a bit of a shock at, I think, 30, 31, I found that out.
Wow.
had some surgery and then did manage to get pregnant, which was really cool. And then my pregnancy was really rough. I was still trying to teach. I really wanted to be that fit mum who was like literally doing a body attack class before she gives birth.
Yeah.
I had really unrealistic expectations of what pregnancy was going to be like. And I think on about week 12, I injured my back. I was still teaching at this stage. I injured my back, and that pretty much stopped any exercise I could do. And that really rocked my mental health, which already was in a pretty tender state as it was. And then, the pregnancy hormones, rough ride through. And towards the end of that pregnancy, I ended up with a late diagnosis of gestational diabetes, which then put me on quite a bad trajectory in terms of the birth and the plan that I had in my head and how that was all going to work. Yes, there was a combination of things that happened. And then, fast forward through the birth, which wasn't particularly fun, I ended up with quite bad abdominal separation. And I thought that was going to be the thing that really kind of threw me. But it turns out there was more to come. And that was my bladder prolapse, which I found out about sort of within the first few weeks. And I also had like lots of problems breastfeeding. I ended up being hospitalized twice with mastitis, and it really sucked, and I hated it. I desperately just wanted to be with my baby and, in this kind of little love bubble, and it just wasn't happening. So that first sort of year with my daughter was pretty hard, not because of her, but because of all the other stuff that was happening. And at some point I realized no one was coming to save me. And that I had to kind of pick myself back up and get on with it. So it's become a bit of a theme, I guess, for me, is to know that this isn't going to be easy, and I need to really work on my mental health. That's probably a whole other conversation as well.
One of the things I think is interesting about this stage that we're at with like primary school or nearly primary school age kids is that you do get reflective looking back at what it was like when you had little kids. And I know for myself, and talking with friends, there's a lot you have to forgive yourself for.
100%. It has helped for me that when I finally realised that I actually needed some clinical help for my mental health, that and receiving a couple of diagnoses for my mental health in a clinical capacity has given me that permission to look back with a lot more compassion than I had for myself at the time. And it's hard to accept that, but it's probably the thing that I'm quite passionate about it now. Like if you need help and you need that permission slip and that validation, then go and get it, because then you're kind of diffusing all that shame that you probably feel about that time. That's really big for me, because for a long time, for the first probably 4 years of motherhood, I felt a lot of shame about everything that had happened and how it had transpired. And that's not my fault, but and
you look back and you realize, it was like this, and there was some really hard things about it, and I did my best and I showed up, but that wasn't the idyllic kind of early years that I had hoped to have with my babies.
And it kind of sucks that mums think that that's what they are walking into, and I think that's probably why I'm passionate about talking about the full spectrum of motherhood. The joys, the highs, the lows, and all the things that can happen. And a lot of people say, you don't want to tell new mums too much. You don't want to scare them off. And I'm like, actually, if we walk into this space with an understanding of what it could be like, I feel like the shock factor is lessened if it does happen. And I'm fairly certain there's research out there that shows that is the case, that it diminishes the possibility of, women ending up depressed with anxiety and all sorts postpartum. If they know, you know?
That most people had a mixed bag experience.
Right.
Like it wasn't all wonderful, and it also wasn't all awful.
No.
Even in the awful times, you still loved your children. There were still
100%.
great things happening.
100%.
Yeah.
We shouldn't have to caveat all that stuff with that though. Like, I love my child, but, we can just say it's hard.
Yeah. Totally.
Story.
And those honest motherhood mental health conversations, they just need to happen way more.
And I think they do. And that's, since I had my first 7.5 years ago, that conversation has changed so much, from, talking about birth injuries to birth to mental health to having hobbies and all of that stuff is so much more out in the open now and it's only going to continue. And that makes me hopeful for our daughters and, you know, that next generation of mums.
So nice to think about that. Like, what am I contributing to for the women that come after me, for the girls that come after me? I think our generation do a lot of that.
I think we've done a lot of healing and a lot of work and that's paving the way for, the next generation of women, which is really nice.
So you're at a stage where, you know, some of the early years stuff is behind you. You've, you know, been able to work your way out of some tough mental health times. And then you've made space for something that brings you joy.
Yes.
Talk to me about gardening.
Yeah, gardening. I could talk for hours.
Flower gardening. Did it start with veggies?
No, it started with some sunflower seeds, if I'm randomly.
Aww.
So I've always I've been probably indoctrinated into gardening since I was a child because both my grandparents had really impressive gardens, both quite different. But and then I grew up on the typical like quarter-acre Kiwi section and mum had a garden and a veggie garden, and so it's always been in my DNA, if you will. Yeah. But I never really kind of got it personally until I with my daughter, I just had Bob, my son, and I was really struggling with that transition, more so probably going from 0 to 1. The 1 to 2 hit me even harder. Yeah. I really found that tough, not only just having the 2 kids, but the disconnect with my eldest. Like I found that stage trying to figure out that new relationship really hard. And so I realised that she quite liked some sunflowers. I can't even remember where that came from or why. Aww. I think we'd randomly sprinkled some somewhere and she thought it was cool. So then I started thinking, well, let's plant more. And so we planted this little strip by her playhouse and they were terrible. They were in the wrong part of my garden. They didn't even grow that well, but she loved it. Aww. But I think I loved it more. And it just kind of triggered this next stage. And I bought some bulbs and some dahlias and then it just kind of continued. And now I'm fully garden obsessed and it's like my thing.
Yeah. Do you mean to tell me I should be worried about my husband's purchase
Probably.
of one dahlia?
You're going to end up with a panic soon.
Or the sunflower seed that came over from school.
Yes, yeah. No, I think I'd always had an interest in it, and because we live on 10 acres, I did want to get into growing food and things, and I do grow food, but it's the flowers and the fun part that really, fill my cup.
It's quite out of this world, your garden.
Yeah,
I love it.
Parts of it.
Yeah.
The parts you see on Instagram are nice.
So
the parts I
good.
show. There's plenty of, there's a lot of work in progress. Yeah. There's a lot to be done in my garden, but I just love it. Yeah.
I think one of the key things for women is giving themselves permission to have time to do the things they want to do, whether it's gardening or something else, or the things that look after themselves, or the little kind of micro interests or self-care things, whatever it is that they need to do. You actually have to think in a really particular way to give yourself that time.
You do.
So talk to me about that. What are the beliefs, the thoughts that you hold that allow you to have space for your hobbies?
An interesting kind of pathway to that actually, because my husband's always been very supportive of me and making time for myself, and he would often say in those early years, just book something in, go and do something, and I found that really, really hard. Looking back now, I realised it was the anxiety and being separated from my child, and I didn't naturally want to do that, so I didn't. And I also remember a lot of times him saying, just go and do something, and me thinking, but what? What do I go and do? I literally don't know what I like anymore. I don't know. I don't have a thing. He's quite clear on his hobbies. He's really into hunting and being outdoors and hiking and all the things, and makes a lot of time for that and loves it, and I'm supportive of that obviously, but I didn't have that thing. And I clearly remember this conversation with my kids, and we were talking about how Dad was away, and they were kind of semi-annoyed, like, why is Dad away without us? He was on a hunting trip. And, I started to kind of tell them, well, you know how you guys play with your toys and that's your thing and you find that really fun. When you grow up and you don't really have toys anymore, but you have things that are still fun and that you like to do. And for Dad, that's hunting, right? I was like, and I've got hobbies too. And what do you think mine are? And my daughter turned to me, this is a few years ago now, just out the mouth of babes, and says, I really think you like driving me and Bob around in the car, Mum.
Oh.
When I just was like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
And that was a huge sign for me that, okay, they see me as mum and that's fine, but I want them to see me as more than mum.
Yeah.
I want them to see me as a full whole person with interests and hobbies and just a human being as well with dreams and and so that was that stuck with me. And in the beginning, I think once I'd kind of got this gardening thing and that was my thing, that helped. But that conversation really drove me to consider, okay, you've got to go and do some stuff now. And really drove me to do that.
My version of that story is for a lovely Mother's Day thing that came home from kindy. My kids were asked, what does mummy like to do? Vacuuming. What does mummy do for a job? Vacuuming. Oh, and the whole thing was vacuuming. That all they could get out of the child. And I thought, yes. And, the dad stories that came home for Father's Day was so much more interesting.
I know, right?
Oh.
And I don't know, I think like I didn't want to get to my baby's 18th birthday and then go, now what? Like, who am I? I didn't want to do that journey then. I wanted to start now and who am I now and who am I in motherhood as well? Not at the end when I am suddenly free, you know, this is life now.
And you said something really interesting there about I want my children to see me as a full, whole human who's happy. I think one of the things that I find really interesting for mums is that so often their idea of what they can fit in is like once the kids are in bed or getting up early in the morning before the kids are awake and need them. And we don't actually let our kids see us doing things. My vision of this is that I've been trying to make a real intentional effort to let my kids see me relax. Like, I'm stopping now. I'm going to sit on the couch with my book.
I need to do that too.
I'm going to sit on the swinging seat while I have my cup of tea and look out into the distance.
Yes.
Like that actually they have to literally see us doing things. Yeah,
100%. And I think also too, starting now at such a young age and our kids understanding like that's mum's time, that's dad's time and they have their own time and then we come back together as a family and that's okay.
Yeah.
We're very much that sandwich generation where we've got the older parents and the younger children and we probably have less of a village and less support than ever.
Yeah.
And so I feel like we spend a lot of time together as a family. And that will change with play dates and bits and pieces, obviously. But it's important for us to, like you say, between the hours of 7 and 7, still be able to do stuff for ourselves. We shouldn't have to be on 24/7 for our kids. Yeah. They can see us doing our own thing as well when they're awake and there.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a good thing.
Absolutely. One of the worst things for my mental health was that sense of like at the beginning of the day and then I don't get to breathe out until you're finally in bed.
I've only really discovered that in probably the last 12 to 18 months, to be honest, that's how I've been feeling like all day.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I used to do it at the start of school holidays as well.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't do this. I'm driving myself crazy here.
That's it. No one's coming to save me.
They aren't. What are those things that you wish that people had told you about motherhood? Because I think we've covered a couple of those now.
So much.
Let's go there.
Oh, gosh. I think probably there's so much that you can only learn by being in it. And there's so much that you can only understand once you're in it. I was definitely one of those people that thought, I'm going to have my baby and then my life continues.
Yeah.
And the baby just comes along.
Yeah.
And it'll be great. Yeah. No. My life completely changed. And I think probably women are more aware of that now these days because we're having more conversations about it. Social media has been great for that. This whole, hashtag real motherhood is a lot more prevalent now. But I do, I think understanding that life is going to change dramatically and being okay with that, but also that you do come back to yourself in a different kind of way.
Yeah.
And that's quite exciting.
Yeah.
Rather than fighting for that old version of yourself in that previous life, letting go and accepting and just waiting and seeing where you're going to end up.
Yeah.
I didn't really fully grasp that until I was in it, I think, and deep in it.
Yeah.
That and just all the probably body changes. I just thought I was going to bounce back, which I hate that term, but I definitely didn't. But again, I don't think you can fully prepare for that until you are in it, and all the stuff you learn about yourself, navigating all those changes, and that's something you have to just do.
Yeah. It's kind of dramatic, but I often end up talking to clients about like motherhood is a trauma.
Yeah,
becoming a parent, it's a trauma.
Yep.
Parenting is a trauma.
Yeah,
like this is, when you think about what makes a trauma, like yes, there's like little t traumas, cumulative things across our lives. And, I'm a big fan of us acknowledging those things too. But if we think about trauma as an incident, an event, a life is never the same after this happens.
100%. Well,
That's what
it's a huge event and life is completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The old you's gone. Like there is no way forward other than creating something new here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think of all the ways that I've changed and all the ways that I've grown in motherhood, and I wouldn't not want that now. I look back at the girl, well, I say girl intentionally, that I was before I became a mother.
Yeah.
She was, quite naive, and I would love to go back and be that naive again.
Yeah.
just for one day.
Yes.
But also I love who I'm becoming because of what I've been through. Yeah.
Okay, so lots of women sit in front of me in a counselling capacity and they say, I just don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to do with my own time. How do I know? I don't have anything I feel interested in anymore. Where do I start?
Yeah. I get that because I was that as well. And but I've always been a person who's always had interest in things that I love. Like pre-kids, I've always been a fitness person, love my fitness. That changed dramatically after kids because of the birth injuries and things. I fought my way back to a place where that became a big part of my life again. But I loved photography, going on walks with my dog, like hiking, the outdoors, adventures, travel. Like there is, when you really start sitting with it, you can think of a lot of things that you do like. But I think I had got to a place where I was so deep in the whole of that, that breath that we're talking about, that and holding on to my breath all day, that I had no capacity to think about that stuff properly anymore.
Yeah.
And so I genuinely think it was finding like small things every day to make myself feel better, to then give myself back that energy and capacity and space to go, I actually really do like that. And I'm going to just go and do that thing.
Yeah.
And whether that was a walk with my girlfriend up the hill or a weekend away or going and buying a plant from the plant store and putting it in the ground, it doesn't have to be I am a gardener now kind of scenario. And this is my thing. It can be simple little things that we just go and do and we try. And I never actually, I still am into photography and bits and pieces, but it's funny how your hobbies do change and your interests do change, and you just have to kind of try something small and start small. And if you don't like it, that's fine. Go and do a pottery class. And if you hate it, cool. That's off the list.
Yeah.
Doing your fitness, just getting yourself mentally into a better place, I think is literally the first place to begin. Yeah. Before you can then start going, what is it that I like? Let's try some stuff.
I think the things I like about that are lessons for other people are that it was something of a surprise, what it is that you found. Like it's not like you set out to like radically pursue this particular thing.
No.
So it kind of was just I did that and I liked it and it felt good. So I did that, and then, the sunflowers turned into paddocks of dahlias. The surprise factor is an element of it.
I'm this sort of personality, and I know why now, but I hyperfixate very hard on things. And because I wanted the best sunflowers for my daughter and I wanted the best little garden for her, I spent hours on YouTube and really, and then that kind of opened my eyes, and I kept sort of digging and going deeper, and then I bought dahlias and then I bought this and that, and then next thing you know, there's a whole paddock. But it wouldn't have happened unless I'd just taken that small little step and gone, I'm just going to plant those little seeds. Yeah. It's a great metaphor, isn't it? Plant those little seeds.
Yeah. There was also another part of that I heard in your response that was I had a sort of base level of starting to look after myself again.
Yes.
And I heard that and I kind of thought about like the hierarchy of our needs, and that so often for mums, actually getting out of that trenches kind of feeling and doing the basics of looking after yourself often has to come before then building that next layer of being able to observe the things that you're finding joy-filled and want to do more of.
Yeah. And for me, that coincided with taking my mental health seriously and seeking external help.
Yeah.
It coincided with getting out of activewear every day.
Yeah.
It coincided with, little things like making sure I did wash my hair once a week and, like literally the basics. And it sounds so stupid now when you reflect on where you are. But when you are in the trenches and you are really struggling and you've got no idea what you like anymore or any of your interests and you just feel like all you do is make school lunches and white bums and you just literally in this Groundhog Day, it is hard.
Yeah.
And I keep saying it, but no one's coming to save you.
Yeah.
This is something that you have to do.
Yeah.
And whether that's with help or without, it's up to you.
Yeah.
And I always, and there's lots of stuff that flies around social media, but I love that meme that comes around every now and then where it talks about how it's their childhood and it's their first time, doing this and doing that, but it's your first time too.
Yeah.
It's your motherhood and this is your season too, as well as them. And yes, you want to make their childhood magical and you want to have all these core memories for them and you, and I love that. I love that sentiment and remembering that you're going to look back on these years too. And do you want to look back and feel resentment or be a little upset? And there's that compassion side as well. But I think if we can help ourselves and that's where we start.
Yeah. I think that one of the things our generation, and we have got, birthdays very close to each other, having turned 40 at the end of last year. One of the things I think our generation saw in our mums, and to some extent our dads as well, was, our mums often didn't work or worked less or part-time or something, and they really lived for their kids up until the point that their youngest hit 18 and then their kind of next chapter of life started. And that's different for us. Now the juggle looks juggly. And
very juggly.
Yeah, quite different. Yeah. But also part of what that created was a really clear, well, you live for your kids in this chapter and then you have to find yourself again when the kids turn 18. What are your observations and experiences about that?
I didn't want to be that kind of mum. I mean, I live for my kids, of course, but it kind of came to me in those, darker days where I realized no one was coming to save me and I needed to get out of this place. And part of that was showing up as a person in the world for my kids. And I've said it before, I wanted them to know me, see me, understand me. And that began then. I don't want them to leave home and then I go through that reclamation process, in my 50s when I'm menopausal and it's gonna be rough anyway. I want to ride out that period with a really clear sense of who I am. And there's this poet Khalil Gibran and this beautiful poem that he wrote called On Children, and he talks about, and I'm going to make a mess of it because I can't remember the exact phrasing, but he talks about how our children are not our own; they come through us, and we don't own them. Yeah, and if we build everything around them, and then they do go, that is just going to be so, I mean, it will be life-changing anyway when you become an empty nest, but that will burn so bad if you've got nothing else. Yeah. It's just, the same goes with your relationship, right? Like, the husband's going to be there at the end as well. And if you've not continued that connection in that relationship, then it's just like this triple whammy, isn't it? And I just didn't want that. So, I think it's so important to remember that this season is yours too. You matter too. Your joy and your hobbies and everything matter. And the moment you forget that, then...
Tell me about your top self-care things.
Exercise, number one. I have to move my body. I've seen what happens when I don't, and I've seen how far down the hole I can go. I have to move my body every day. And there used to be a lot wrapped up into that in terms of my self-worth and my image and everything. Literally now it's for my mental health. It's how I manage my anxiety. It's how I manage stress. It's how I manage, everything, my moods. I'm now entering that beautiful stage of perimenopause. It's literally life-saving, moving my body every day.
Yeah.
And for the people around me.
Yeah.
So that's a non-negotiable. And regular time with my friends.
Yeah.
I was never good at that in the beginning. And I've come to realize that if you don't plan it, it won't happen, and it just doesn't.
Yeah.
And although it may take, 10 or 15 times, you just have to keep trying.
Yeah.
Even if, there's one of you that's always cancelling because there's a child inevitably sick. But those probably two are my top two.
Yeah. So I signed up to do a half marathon. I've done a few now.
What?
No, a while ago. I've already done it. It's not a current goal.
Wow.
And I was running through the chute, at the end. And the funny thing that happens for me is because I am so slow, I end up running with the marathon runners at any half marathon. And in an event like the Christchurch Marathon where it's like laps, you end up, finishing together with the elite marathon runners.
I love it.
And so it was a time when they were, there was an announcer like saying things while people were running through the finishing chute. Yeah. And the announcer goes, here comes Charlotte, and she's running today for, it says mental health. And I was thinking like, I think that he thinks I've signed up to run this for like a mental health related charity. I'm like, nobody, it's my own mental health. Charlotte is running for me. Her mental health. Let's just be clear about that. So I've been reluctant on the exercise front, but my realization has been that actually everybody loves to move. And regardless whether personality-wise or interest-wise you're into exercise, you kind of got to do it.
Yep. Yep, you do. And I think as we approach this next stage of our life, like into our 40s, 50s, it becomes more and more obvious the people that prioritize that and the people that don't. And for me, I want to be that grandparent if if my kids have babies, but I want to be that older person who can still move and still live her life. And that starts now. Like you literally have to keep going.
Yeah. How are the chin-ups going though?
Oh, I've got a new goal now, so I'm still working on that. But then there's all this other stuff that I'm doing as well. But I can still get one. Yeah. But yeah.
And is that how you work the exercise part of your life? Like you have little things you want to
sometimes. I think since I taught lots of group fitness classes for years, and so my goal was always to be kind of fit for the classes and for other people, which is really interesting. And then now I only teach one class a week, and I'm fit enough for that, clearly. And so my goals are sort of shifted to more strength-based stuff, and I like those little mini challenges. And so after I had surgery to fix some of my birth injuries, and after that, one of my goals was to get back to doing full push-ups. And it took me a while, but I got it. And so, I quite enjoyed that. So I thought, there's other ones that I can do. And one was to run 10K, and then it was to do a chin-up. And and so I will keep going with different goals and watch the space.
Good. So one of the things that I see pop up on your social media from time to time is a stance that you're making about a global issue or something that you're sharing, trying to raise awareness for other people, being alert to what's happening even in our country or something that is, a cause worthy of people's attention. Yeah. And I talk to so many people who find the state of the world literally having a day-to-day impact on their mental health. Yes. That they just feel like, why am I raising kids in this? Yeah. What hope is there in the future? Yeah. Every day waking up to some more headlines and thinking it can't get worse, and then it gets worse somehow. Talk to me about what you do with that.
I think my personality leads me to hyperfixating on things like that and getting really caught up in the news cycle. And I actually have to say props to you. You sent me a podcast of yours one day which talked about how much do you need to know? Yeah. And it was really powerful for me because at that point I think I was sort of really quite low, like you've been explaining, about, raising my kids in this kind of world because I was so deep in the news cycle and staying on top of every single atrocity. And I would never not say look away to someone, because I
Yeah.
think we all have a duty to understand what is going on and what is happening in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And we have access now to every single atrocity. And not saying we need to know everything that's happening, but you were so right. How much do we need to know, and how far into the news cycle do we need to continue? And so I've definitely pulled back on how much I absorb and how much I digest daily. And I have put that energy into community and into the PTA and into the world around my kids, and making sure I regularly donate, and I have the means to do so, and contributing to my community in ways that make a tangible difference. And I think that's the only thing you can do. Yeah. Because we're in a pretty rough trajectory in terms of current events, and I don't know that it's ever going to get much better. But we can impact the people around us, and that's all we can control and all we can do. And it's translating that energy into that rather than into a doom spiral, and that's literally it.
Yeah, that episode had a lot of traction with people, and one of the key things I said in it was thinking about who you want to be in the world.
Yes.
Like, what character do you want to be in this story?
Yeah.
And actually, strangely, that is almost easier to think about. Like, we read stories of global atrocities like the Holocaust, and we think, oh, I would have been this person. I would have done this. This is what I would have done. Yeah. And then it's quite hard because we're living out a certain global reality right now. That actually thinking about who do you want to be? When you think about past events, what do you imagine would be important about how you show up? Then how do you do that today?
Yeah, I love that. And I can't remember who, I think, I can't remember who the person that said it was. Oh, it's going to annoy me now. But you always look for the helpers.
Yeah.
And that is my character. I want to be the helper. I want to be the person that just gets in and gets it done, and I want to be that person that people look to or join in with.
Yeah. And surely that is a critical skill for our kids, 100%. Thinking about the future, that they have to learn 100%. The same thing we're going through right now of, now what do I do? The world is like this. Now what action do I take? They need to see that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, if we all bury our head in the sands, that's not going to bode well for our kids, is it?
Yeah. It's surely something that's going to be part of their future. Yeah. Yep. What do you do in your relationship to stay connected?
Don't ask me that question. We're so bad at this. I think that is probably one of the things that I really do want to work on this year. And we've talked about it for years. We really need to do date nights and this and that, because we're so good. We've become so good at continuing our hobbies and the things that light us up individually. And so there is crossover there with Brent and I, which is really cool. We do both really enjoy the outdoors. I actually like going hunting with him. We've started to take the kids along. We both love camping. We've got a caravan. Like there is a lot of stuff that we do genuinely enjoy together, but we're shocking at planning in one-on-one time. And it does very much feel like we're ships in the night at this stage in our relationship. And I think we probably put a lot of faith into the depth of our love for each other and our connection. Well, I mean, because if we didn't, then I don't know where we'd be right now.
Like, there's something to celebrate.
Oh, 100%. Like we always say to each other, like, we still wake up every day and choose each other. Yeah. We're still, and I would every single day of my life. Like I genuinely treasure our love story, and I know that it was like such a kismet meeting of us, of two people, and I feel really lucky that I found that and that I have that, but we probably do take it for granted. So it is something we definitely want to work on, and it is tricky. Like, my parents don't live in the South Island. Brent's mum is older. Our kids are a lot, we don't have that kind of hands-on village. But as I get that little bit older, it gets easier, right? So we still haven't had a night away from our kids ever in 7.5 years. I know, it's rough. And that's partially been our own doing. Like, we've co-slept with our kids most of their lives, still do. Like, it's like literally, what's that party game with the chairs?
Musical chairs.
It's like musical beds in our house still. the 7, nearly 8-year-old and a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
And I know that will change eventually. So yeah, I think those days are coming and we're holding on for dear life.
Yeah. Oh, and so tell me, what goals have you got at the moment? What's Hannah working on?
Really getting stronger with my fitness. Like, I want to be just like a beast. I want to lift really heavy stuff and just push my body to the limit.
How exciting.
Yeah, I am excited to do that. I've always been like a cardio fit, like running kind of girl, sweat and try and pass out.
Yeah.
So I'm really trying to transition to more of like the fit, strong girl.
Yeah.
And I think that's important for the stage of life that I'm in terms of, perimenopause and what my bones need and my body needs. The relationship stuff is a really big focus, and we really want to work on that a lot more this year. And just making lots of fun, cool memories with the kids. Like, they're in this such cool stage. Like, we're out of the stage of packing the buggy and the porta cot and all the things, and like we can literally pack up and go, and it's not a big deal anymore. And we're really keen on just getting out and seeing our country with the kids.
Yeah.
We look where we live. We're so lucky. So yeah, they're probably the top 3.
Such a cool stage, except the difference between you and I, as we discussed recently, was my boundary on adventures is that there has to be a shower.
Yeah. So I don't know. I definitely did probably be a bit more precious about that previously, but now I'm like, it's fine.
Maybe that's my work on for this year.
You can buy like a little gas, like hot shower.
Yeah.
Portable one. You'll be right.
And so tell me, business-wise, you guys have a business called Mortgage Mates.
We do.
Amazing
yeah.
offsider called Bex, who's a fellow school mom.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So that's, it's been like, I think we're coming up 12 years this year in business. Yeah. And Bex and Brent are the mortgage advisors, brokers in the business. And then we have a small but mighty team. There's 6 of us.
Yeah.
And we're the go-to brokers, I guess, in North Canterbury.
Yeah.
We've got a little office above the Ford Cafe on Conway Lane. And we just love it. It's been a really great decision that we made in our 20s to begin a business, because it's given us so much time with our kids and flexibility and the ability to work around them. So I feel really lucky to have that.
I think that every mortgage broker I have ever known before has been some old dude who didn't understand our stage of life and our goals. And I think these days the cost of living demands on families, the pressure that puts on relationships. Yeah. Such an important time to get good financial advice.
Yeah,
so,
totally.
We can find you.
Yeah, we kind of pride ourselves on being quite down to earth. We're all at like a similar stage to our clients. We've got young families. Yeah. We understand what it's like. And you can find us on our website, www.mortgagemates.co.nz. Yeah. Or just Google us or look us up on social media.
And I know that this question will be in at least some people's heads, but you do like non-rural people too, hey?
100%, of course. I mean, I grew up in a small town, and then I lived in Christchurch for years in the city. I was a city slicker. We've been in Rangiora for, it's like 9 years now. Yeah, crazy.
Cool, but good time for people to get advice that fits with their stage of life as well.
Definitely.
And not sponsored.
Not sponsored.
So lovely to have you. And I said to you earlier today, I'm so excited to actually get to sit down and talk to you without kids for the first time ever.
I know.
So nice. Everyone else gets to listen to our chat too.
Totally.
Thanks
Thank you
for
so
coming
much.
on.
Thank you for having me.
If this conversation felt like it was helpful to you, I'd love you to share it with someone else who might need it too. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. You can find more support, tools, and how we can work together at charlottecummings.nz. See you next time.